Welcome back, welcome back. It's Sheryl Schmidt from Sheryl Schmidt Artistry, and today I'm here with a quick budget project. I've really been wanting one of Tim Holtz's Deckle paper trimmers. It's like a guillotine paper cutter, but it has a deckled edge on it. And a deckled edge is, let's see if I can, a deckled edge gives you this really nice textured, torn edge on your paper, but I haven't picked one up yet. And the other thing is with a guillotine trimmer, it takes up space. So where do you put it? So I came up with a way, and this is not an original idea. I think I saw somebody else on their blog do this, but I don't remember who it was. But I just thought I'd pop in here quick today and show you how I make my own deckle edge trimmer out of a ruler. So I go to the dollar store, Dollar Tree, and for $1.25 you can pick up a ruler. Using my box cutter, I just come in and pry up. I'm just coming in between the plastic and the wood and just prying up that plastic piece of the ruler. It peels right up. It's not very well stuck down at all. There we go. Peel that right up. You can hang on to these and use these for something else, or throw those in your recycling bin. And then you're just left with this plain wooden stick. And it's quite a soft wood. I'm going to move you in a little bit closer here so you can see what I'm doing. So after I have this apart, I come in with another box trimmer, and you should technically cut away from yourself, but you know, do as I say, not as I do. And you're just going to start coming along and notching out. Can you see how I've got some little notches in there already? You're going to come in and you're just going to start notching out your wood. You can make those notches in as deep as you want, as shallow as you want, and the wood does split. It's a cheap, like I said, it's a cheap ruler, it's cheap wood. Can you see how I've got that notched out? And the great thing is you can do this on both sides of your ruler, and it's going to give you a unique and different look on both sides. And you can do this on several rulers, and no two rulers will have the same rip to them. And I like to add this ripped edge to my journal pages, to greeting cards, to mixed media projects that I'm working on. I like the texture that it gives. You can use your decorative scissors. I've got another video I'll link to where I used my old decorative scissors to cut around a stamp to give it the look of a stamp. So yeah, so you're just going to go along and you're just going to notch that out all the way down. And once I've done that, then I'm going to come in and, excuse the noise, I'm going to run my blade up and down it, and that's just going to smooth out any rough edges and rough notches. Be careful, I don't want anybody cutting themselves or injuring themselves doing this, so please practice safety. there's any adhesive left on there. And then after I'm done doing that, I come in with just a sanding stick, and I'm just gonna sand that down. I just want to make sure I don't have any slivers or anything on there. And just round out those rough edges. And so now, just to show you what things look like here. So if I trace my deckled edge, you can see that it's kind of lumpy and bumpy. I can tear my paper. I'll move you out here again a little bit. Tear my paper. And that gives me just this great ripped edge. And you can ink up those edges. And you can see once that's been inked, can you see that really nice texture on there? Love that. The other thing you can do is once you've got your edges ripped, you can use it to mask with as well. And you get this great little textury line. So if you're doing clouds or doing hills or anything like that, it'll give you a really, really nice look. So I'm gonna quickly go and do the other side, and then I'm gonna decorate my ruler, because who wants a plain stick left in their craft room? So I'll be right back. All right, so I'm back. I have finished whittling my deckle ruler, and now I'm gonna make it pretty. So I'm going to give it a coat of craft paint. I'm just using the Demco acrylic craft paint. Put that on. You will probably need a couple of coats of this for coverage. You could decoupage on here. You could just leave it. You wouldn't need to necessarily decorate it. Like I said, I just didn't want a plain wooden ruler sitting on in my studio, but there's so much, the rulers are just so much easier to store than another paper trimmer. That's what I liked about doing this. You could use a plastic ruler, and you would take a pair of pliers, and you could just kind of snap and break that plastic ruler. You could take a wood burning tool, a hot knife, and melt the ruler. I would still in both cases take some sandpaper or sanding stick and make sure you smooth out those edges and stuff on it, simply because I find sometimes plastic can be very sharp. So once this is dry, I'll put a coat of Mod Podge, my matte sealer, on there, and that'll just seal the paint in. Otherwise, there is the tendency when you're ripping your paper that the paint may transfer onto your paper. So once this is all dry, I will be back to put my clear coat on and wrap up the video. Alright, so I'm back, and I decided as this was drying, I wasn't really thrilled with the pink. So we're going to decoupage on it. So I pulled out this flowery napkin, and this is what I'm going to use on here. So napkins always come in at least 2 layers. So you're just going to pull that apart. You'll get one solid white layer. Sometimes you'll have 2. This one has 2 layers of white napkin before you... And that's my kitty in the background saying, "Come in and give me attention." Alright, so I've pulled both of those white backgrounds off, and I'm left with a very translucent or transparent napkin layer. I'm going to use my matte Mod Podge. I've just dispensed a little bit into my cup. Brush on a quick layer of Mod Podge. And because I don't want to mess around with trying to match up patterns or anything like that, I'm going to go corner to corner, and that is going to, in theory, fit on this ruler just perfect. And then I'm going to come back over top with my Mod Podge. I'll move you in a little closer here. Come back in with my Mod Podge over the top. And I'm going to go relatively gently. I don't want to rip my napkin yet. Pushing that napkin down into the groove of the ruler. And the Mod Podge is going to seal that napkin in place. Alright, so once I've got that coated, I'm going to pick up my ruler. And now that my napkin is wet, it's going to tear away from the ruler quite easily, quite nice. It's going to tear away along that deckled edge. Just like that. And I'll save those pieces for another project. And I'm just gonna push all those little pieces, make sure they're all, oh, I was a little too aggressive there. Just make sure everything's pushed in along the deckled edge. We don't want any pieces left sticking out or hanging out. Sorry, I've gone off camera. And just make sure that's all adhered down here on the back as well. And I'll do the same thing on the other side of my ruler. Just pushing in gently along the deckled edge, making sure that napkin is all pushed into all the grooves and the nooks and crannies. There we go. So relatively quick, relatively simple project. Sorry, my lighting is a little off in here today. You're looking very, very dark. Move you in a little bit more so you can see. Let's see, what's that? Oh yeah, that looks better. There you go. So you can see those nice decorative edges. So I'll give this a minute to dry and set up. And then I'll put another layer of Mod Podge on once it's started to set up. Once it's started setting up, you're less likely to rip your napkin when you go over it again with your second coat. I just want to really make sure that that napkin is really pushed in there and well adhered. Perfect. There we go. That is how to make your own deckled ruler on a budget. It'll save you some money, save you some space, adds a really, really nice texture to your papers and your cardstocks when you're junk journaling and when you're card making. Those poor kitties, I tell you, they're so neglected. Let me know if you give this a whirl. Let me know if there's any other craft DIY on a budget things you'd like to see, and I will do my best to show you how to make them on your own. Thanks for stopping by. Don't forget to hit the subscribe, the like, and the bell icon down below. It'll let you know every time I upload a new video. I really appreciate you stopping by. Have a really great day. Bye-bye.